here at Mining Indaba with Roger Baxter, CEO of the Minerals Council of South Africa, and we're here to discuss health and safety in the sector. Now Roger, 2018 started off on a poor note. However, there was an improvement in the latter part of the year. What would you say resulted in this positive turnaround in fatality rates?
So you're definitely right, it was a very difficult first half of the year. We had a number of what we call disasters, where a number of mine workers were killed. Second half of the year, we started off the second half with a campaign as the Minerals Council, where we had what we call our National Safety and Health Day, asking all our mining companies to provide inputs and to make sure that they actually held these safety days just to get visible felt leadership, to get safety protocols refreshed into the minds of people. And I think part of that process and the efforts of the companies and the efforts of the CEOs and all workers in the industry made quite a big difference. By the second half of the year, we had actually got to a fatality level, yes, 84 too many. The numbers are not official yet, but they, based on the numbers that we've seen, 84 versus 89 the previous year, which was a marginal reduction in numbers, but obviously a recovery in the second half of the year.
Is the target of no fatalities by December 2020 achievable?
So remember that our target is a zero harm target. So when you talk about a zero harm target, effectively it's a long-term drive towards achieving global leading practice. So if you looked at our coal mines, our iron ore mines, our manganese operations, we're pretty much in line with global leading practice in terms of fatalities per million person hours worked. So when you talk about the goal of zero harm, it's an aspirational goal. We do have too many fatalities at the moment, but we've come a long journey. Remember, we are 88% down from where we were in 1994. So it's very much a target that we are trying to achieve. Every effort is going into it. There's lots of leadership forums and structures and processes in the tripartite as well as within the industry that are being used to try and drive the agenda. And I think we are making progress. I mean, obviously 2017 was the first regression that we had had in 10 years, where the fatality rates were higher than the year before. Last year we've recovered a little bit. This year, big focus. And in fact, 2 weeks ago we held a CEO zero harm heartfelt conversation amongst the CEOs to see how we could really continue to drive behavioral change, etc., etc. So it's very much a big focal point of ours.
Finally, what would you say would be the number one priority this year that the mining houses need to focus on in order to halt the safety regression?
So what we've done is there's a number of areas that have been identified. We've got critical engineering controls as one, behavioral change and supervision as a second. So there's a number of different areas where we have identified what the challenges are. We've got a specialized team that are working on seismicity and the impact of seismic events on falls of ground. Remember, in the last 10 years we saw a significant reduction in falls of ground because of netting and bolting underground, etc. So, and we've got our mines occupational safety and health team helping companies adopt the leading technologies and practices which enables us to get safer practices underground. So there's a lot of work that's being done. One thing that I think is an issue that we need to raise, but it's a broader issue, it's a societal issue. We spend a lot of time on making sure that people are safe in mines, and invariably, if you look at South Africa's roads, for example, and the high fatality rates on the road, how do you get our workers who are coming in by taxi, where the taxi is not roadworthy, overloaded, speeding? How do you expect people to switch off from society and be safe in the workplace if they're not safe in their home environment? So I think there's a broader overall societal question we need to be working on. And it's not to say that we're not part of the solution, we definitely are, but that's certainly something that we've been thinking about at the same time.